the ALLGROUND Pod. Welcome to the ALLGROUND Pod.
When I'm like even at the bank or somewhere, like I'll just start adjusting the pens and the notepad or like the thing on the table.
Yeah.
Anything I can adjust, I'll just start adjusting.
That's good. That actually can be good as long as you don't let it control you.
So it does kind of control me sometimes.
Yeah.
We're live, by the way.
Okay,
Welcome to the
cool.
ALLGROUND Pod. But it does control me. So I have this weird thought sometimes. Like, you know the movie Horton Hears a Who?
Uh-huh.
Where they're living on the speck?
Yeah. A person is a person, no matter how small.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well,
We are here.
yeah. So sometimes, like, I'll think the probably the most meaningless things have an effect on the world around me. Like if I put my shoes on the shoe rack, but then they're kind of twisted to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and then I start to walk away, I'll think about it. I'm like, why didn't I straighten my shoes? I should just like something bad's gonna happen. Maybe not something bad's gonna happen, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I think you watched the movie The Butterfly Effect and took it a little bit too seriously.
Like there could be a small family living on those shoes.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure everything is aligned.
There is a small family. It's
Yeah.
called the culture of bacteria.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually a large family. There's probably millions of siblings.
Yeah. I don't
Anyway,
know, man.
I'm not
OC
trying to like freak you out so that now you have to start disinfecting your shoes when you put them on the rack.
No, don't make me disinfect it too. God.
You murderer, killing the families.
Yeah. No, I'm not super OCD, but definitely more than the average person.
Yeah, I think it can be harnessed. I think it can be a really, really powerful, positive influence in your life. But it can also go nuts, and it can be a serious problem for people, like really bad, controlling.
Yeah.
They just can't function anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I like the idea of having like order within the household.
Mhm.
More for yourself, like everything has its place and you're able to like go through your routine really nicely. And I think, that's why I'll get weird about, adjustments sometimes, but it's more for myself. I'm not like imposing it on anyone else. I just,
Right. Yeah, that's when it gets really weird, You're like, Ruby, the towels were a little bit out of order, and
so
we're going to have to talk.
Why was the blue towel hanging on the left side when normally...
Yeah. It's like, that's not good. It's not healthy.
Yeah. Everybody's got that, their laundry pile.
Uh-huh.
Like people have the laundry chair.
I try not to have that anymore. I'm really working on
I'm
not
done
having-
with that, man.
Yeah,
I
the
had,
laundry
like-
chair is passe.
I had like my laundry, like a gear bag. So like a gear bag that I wasn't really using anymore. And I was like, I'm just going to put like my laundry clothes on top of that sometimes. If I feel like I'm going to grab them and wear them tomorrow, but then it just doesn't make sense, man. Just got to fold the fucking clothes and
Yeah,
put 'em
exactly.
back.
Yeah. Order.
Yeah.
It's psychologically, it's so much better to have order around you. And so that's why I think it can be very, very positive. If you can create a sense of order, it's really relaxing to the brain and calming. It's very, very good. And so like the laundry chair, do away with the laundry chair. Put your clothes in the dirty clothes or fold them and put them away, but don't put them on the laundry chair. Because all it does is it makes that chair not a chair anymore.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also like for me, I think it's some sort of representation of what's going on in your life.
I think so too. I think it does represent that, like whether or not your mind is orderly.
Yeah, like having a dirty car. Like you could show up and look really good. You can, be in a nice outfit, but then if someone steps in your car and like, whoa, this is pretty shitty, trashy in here.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even notice or something.
There have been cases where really, really bad hoarders, where their house is so disgusting that you couldn't possibly live in it, go out into the world pretty well dressed. And so they're living like this double life where in their house, the trash is piled to the ceiling. There are rats everywhere. They can't use their toilet anymore. And yet somehow they keep enough clean clothes that they go out into the world and people have no idea. It's wild.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It goes back to what we talked about before, but just how you do one thing is how you do everything. I think about that a lot too. And having a level of order within the house, within your car, kind of, within our academy and whatnot, it's indicative of what's going on in your brain or what's going on in your life.
Now, that having been said, all you parents that are listening, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, that's easy to say, Elias, because you don't have any kids. Let me just say that you're fighting back the chaos and the entropy as a parent, because you can't get kids to live super clean and orderly. I mean, you can, but then you're like this totalitarian dictator in your house, and your parents are like, nobody wants to live like that. So trying to model good behavior and model keeping things clean and orderly, I think, is probably your best bet in the long run. But you're going to have to give a little if you have kids. It's going to be a little bit chaotic for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. What do you think about, because obviously you have kids, controlling the things that you can control, meaning maybe the living room is a mess and it's controlled chaos in a way, but should that reflect in your room and the bathroom? Is it an excuse for some people just to have kids? Or because I know the nature of it, there's going to be some controlled chaos. There's, the kitchen might be a little out of whack and the living room and whatnot. But do you think that there's importance to controlling the things that you can control, like in the is that easier, or is that easier said than done, rather?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's got a different situation. Some kids are naturally pretty orderly. I mean, as a kid, you probably kept your room pretty straightened up, I would guess. I mean, you probably have, like, over time that's evolved. But I have a friend, I'll throw his name out, Ben Thome, Nate's brother.
Yeah.
And his parents have talked all about, he was always pretty neurotic about keeping his room clean. He hated to have a dirty room. And so growing up, he always had a really, really clean room. He's just very orderly, likes things the way they should be, likes it. Everything has a place and it's there. And then, Nate and his other brothers, Nick and Max, were more typical. And so it was a little bit less orderly. So as a parent, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, you might have a kid that likes to keep things cleaner than you like to keep it. Or you might have a kid that's just a complete, just
slob.
Pig pen. Yeah, total slob. But I think that the real value is in the trying.
Yeah.
In all things.
Yeah.
I think the value's in the trying. I think when you give up and start making excuses, that's when you fall into, problems. You come in here to jiu-jitsu and you aren't going to win every roll. You're not going to always put your best foot forward, but it's the trying that matters. The effort and the attitude are the most important things. And as a parent, I think that's really the only advice I can give people. Just don't stop trying and have the best attitude you can, and you'll be the best parent that you're capable of being.
Yeah.
Anyway, we weren't even going to talk about any of that.
Good advice.
Yeah, we're just like going on to the sages that are Elias and Ty. But yeah, so what we're going to talk about today?
Okay. I want to talk about motivation, discipline, and sort of powerful drivers that people have in order to stay motivated. I've got 5 here that we can go one by one.
Nice.
And maybe this is something that motivates. Maybe one of these is your biggest motivator, and I'm saying you as in the listener, but you as well, Ty. And I think a lot of us are motivated maybe by one of these more than others, but let's just get into them. Okay. So we're getting ready for a competition as a team. A lot of people have, different ways that they motivate themselves and stay disciplined. One of those, the first one on the list, is fear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's that instinct to avoid the negative consequences or pain of losing. How often do you feel like you're motivated by fear?
That's actually interesting. So we were talking earlier about the difference between, fear and anger.
Mm-hmm.
I think framing it is the most important thing.
Yeah.
To some extent, you really can't control when you're afraid. I mean, you can acclimate to situations over time where things that used to make you afraid don't make you afraid anymore. But in the moment, unexpected things are going to happen and it might strike fear into you. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. That's internal. I think the 2 things you can choose are, how do you respond to that feeling of fear and how do you think about it? Do you think, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and you kind of get a panicky feeling and it gets worse? Or do you think, this is great, this is my body getting ready to take on a challenge,
Yeah.
You know, like if you frame it that way, you can harness your fear in a pretty positive way. And actually, studies have been shown by Kelly McGonigal, who wrote the book Willpower Instinct. I love a lot of the stuff she writes, but she talks about framing stress in your mind one way versus another. And one way it is empirically healthy and can make you healthier. And the other way it can be detrimental to your health. So fear, stress, how you frame it, I think matters immensely.
I think you're right. I find myself very motivated by fear.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that, you know, stemmed from growing up in martial arts and also like competing at a very young age and trying to live up to my family's or my father's expectations of being a good martial artist. Cause we did, Laird and I were doing jiu-jitsu, you know, from the time we were 3 years old or from maybe even younger. So big motivator for me was fear, the fear of losing, and how, and what that would look like. And I feel like I still carry a lot of that. I think training really hard and building a lot of confidence helps to fight that fear, but there's always that fear. And I think a lot of fighters could agree with me, or people that are passionate in their sport, but the fear of losing is terrifying. And I think that you could even parallel that into goals and your relationships, like the fear of losing your loved ones, the fear of losing the achievements that you're setting out for. I think that's a big motivator for me personally. Like I feel like I can thrive in that fear because it inspires me to work harder and do what I need to do. Although maybe it's not the healthiest approach,
Right.
but definitely heavily motivated by, you know, the fear of losing. I guess. The fear of maybe not being enough or what I would think is enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing you can do is, I think a lot of times fear compounds on itself. It has like a resonant feedback. It creates kind of a vicious cycle. We as humans tend to be more negative than maybe should reflect the reality of what's happening in our world. And so I guess what I mean by that is you might fear something and you might build up the consequences of failure in your mind to be far worse than they actually would be.
Yeah.
You think that your opponent is far better than your opponent is. You think that if you fail, your family is going to, and now rationally you don't think this, but like subconsciously you're like, my family will be ashamed of me. You know, like the consequences you build up in your mind to be far worse than they actually are.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's healthy. I think that, you know, really facing your fears and rationally going through the actual consequences in a way where, you know, you mitigate a lot of the fear, first of all, but that doesn't mean you're not afraid of losing. You want to win. If you don't want to win, why are you even doing it? You know, like, why are we even here if we don't want to win? So, so there's still going to be the fear of losing. And I think mitigating the fear to the point where it's a healthy fear and in a realistic and rational fear, and then attacking things, like framing it the right way and going after. I think that's probably the best way to go about it, because you can't just live your life without any fear at all unless you have no amygdala.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think fear gives you the opportunity to be brave.
Absolutely.
As well, because of course it's scary to go fight. It's scary to tell yourself you're going to do something and think about what happens if you don't follow through.
Right.
And you know, we're all scared of certain things. Some of us are scared to think about taxes. Some of us are scared to, you know, do the necessary maintenance on our cars. Like we put off a lot of things because for some reason we're held back by this fear of, I don't even know.
I might find out something I don't want to know. Right.
Yeah.
The whole ignorance is bliss mentality.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think that gives you an opportunity to be brave. And maybe that's my personality type, is I want to be brave. And,
I think most people want to be brave. I think they want to be brave.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
But do they want to be brave more than they want to be safe? And I guess that's the choice we have to to each make, right?
Yeah.
Do I want to live a life of cowardice and fear, or do I want to live a life of bravery? And with bravery, there will be risks. But there's also great reward.
Yeah.
Living a brave life.
Yeah. Real.
I think that if people are coming to jiu-jitsu, whether they're competing or not, they've already overcome a lot of fear, because it's combat. You know, it's scary. Even if people aren't actually punching you in the face, just rolling around on the ground with other like grown adults that are trying to beat you is kind of scary.
Yeah, it is scary. And it's more scary to think what could happen.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of the fear stems from people. They're like, oh, I could blow my knee out. I could get slammed. I mean, even just last night in comp class, Gabe got, he kind of hit the back of his head on the mats pretty hard.
Yeah.
And it was a little scary for him. And I was like, man, yeah, I mean, this is still a combat sport. This is still something that we have to, be careful and protect ourselves at all time. And it's up to Laird and I as the coaches to really make sure that the students are looking out for each other and we're competing with each other in a way where we're still able to show up the next day and train.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is a scary thing. And I think stepping into a jiu-jitsu class, you're going through all of these fears in your head before you step on the mat. Oh, what if I suck? What if I do this? But you have the opportunity to be brave, I guess.
Yeah.
If you just go in and do it. And then I guess maybe what happens to a lot of people is they realize it's not as scary as they thought,
Yeah, exactly. That's where the reality hits what they've built up in their minds.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's sometimes you don't know enough to be able to mitigate the fear because there's just too many unknowns.
Yeah.
Right. But the only way you're ever going to find out the reality of the situation is to go jump in and be brave.
Yeah.
So bravery allows you to do that.
You see that with a lot of competitors when they first compete in jiu-jitsu or maybe first or second competition. There's so much fear of failure, which is why we prepare so diligently here.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's that fear that they're going to fail their teammates, they're going to fail their coach. But then usually what happens, especially if you prepare, you go out, you either win or you have a really good match and you lose, but you didn't get embarrassed or anything.
Yeah.
And then after that, a lot of them are like, oh, I'm excited. Yeah, let's get to the next one. Like all of a sudden it's a shift. There's not as much fear. They understand what happens. And then whether win or lose after that first match, not much changes,
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of change that actually occurs, especially if you have a team that's very supportive of you no matter what, which I think is super important, and allows for the people that are, very fearful and motivated by fear to actually work through that. Because if you're a coach that all of a sudden makes their student feel worse about what they did, then you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're instilling more fear in your athletes.
Right.
But typically what happens is they actually get fired up. It's like their bravery increases.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's that framing it as my body's getting ready for a challenge.
Yeah.
Let's do this. It's excitement.
Yes.
Fear can be transformed into a level of excitement and frenzy in a very positive way if framed properly.
Yeah.
It can also make you run and sit in the corner and suck your thumb if you let it. So don't be a coward.
Okay. Well, good stuff. The next biggest motivator is passion, or more specifically, intrinsic passion. And that's being driven by the genuine interest and enjoyment of the activity. And I feel like this happens when people don't put a lot of pressure on themselves for whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you had me on the squat program, I was not afraid of not meeting certain marks at all. Where in jiu-jitsu and something that I'm that is so important to me. I put a lot of pressure on myself. Where with the squat program, even if I didn't hit the certain numbers that I was supposed to that week, I was like, oh, I don't care. I'm still doing it. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Like
I
like the fact that I'm getting stronger. And then those, I would eventually hit those numbers and hit new maxes. But that was just, an example for me of actually enjoying the activity and getting better at it. And that's a motivator in and of itself to keep doing it.
Right.
What about for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all,
Probably
if you,
jujitsu.
yeah,
Yeah.
jujitsu is like that for me.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. Yeah, I mean, I want to have a good, like if I go roll with somebody, like I want to win, because why else am I doing it if I don't try, you know? And also I frame it in my mind as the more effort I put into it, the better role that person gets. So I am doing them a disservice if I don't try. So like jujitsu is a funny thing. Like you can't get better at it by yourself. You have to have people to train with. You can get like the smarty dummy, but that's pretty limited, right? Like you need partners.
Yeah.
And so there's a responsibility. But as far as the passion thing goes, I think that is a key ingredient to discipline. Take, for example, something that I have zero interest in. Let's say juggling chainsaws. I watch people that do it. I'm fascinated by it. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. It probably takes a lot of work to get good at that. I have zero interest in doing that. I have no passion for it. Yeah. So therefore, why would I be disciplined about getting better at juggling chainsaws? Yeah. Right. And so plus you could lose a hand. I mean, I saw Hot Tub Time Machine,
I have a funny just story if I could interject real quick.
Yeah.
Bob, one of our members here, Bob.
I think so. Yeah. He's got like the chin strap.
Yeah. Beard.
Yeah.
Anyone else? I was wondering.
Yeah. Very thin beard.
Yeah. Beard. Not just a chin. He doesn't just wear a chin strap
with no helmet. It's weird. He glues it to his face.
He was talking about how he got really into juggling at some point in his life. And he got to the point where he was like, I want to learn how to juggle the pins that are on fire.
Yeah.
And
the bowling pins.
Yeah. The bowling pins. And, he was at the place where you learn or whatever, and the instructor was saying, now the only thing here is if you get the hot oil on your eye while you're juggling, you could go blind. And Bob was like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm not doing this anymore.
I don't need to learn it.
Yeah.
I'm not that passionate about this.
Or wear good eye protection.
Yeah. Just wear goggles.
Yeah. Why is that guy juggle with goggles on? Because he doesn't have the passion for this that some do.
Other like fire bowling pin jugglers are like, look at that weak ass.
Yeah, that guy's not all in like we are.
God, he's not doing it for the love of the game.
What a coward.
Yeah. Nice goggles, loser. Sorry,
they could say the same thing in the NBA. Some of those guys wear goggles because they too many eye pokes, Yeah. And they're like, what cowards, They don't belong on an all-star team.
Oh man, I remember being young and being really into skateboarding, and it was not cool to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Not cool. Even
it's strange. It's changed now.
It's changed, I think. But even at the park, like if you were wearing a helmet, you were a dweeb. You were a poser.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not dweeb, poser.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I can't wear a helmet. I remember one time Laird and I went to Washington to visit our family, and our grandma, she took us to like the skate shop. Got us elbow pads, knee pads, helmet.
You're looking at each other,
everything.
just shaking your heads. We're never wearing this.
Yeah, I was like, never gonna wear this. But and then I remember even being like embarrassed to go up to the counter.
Yeah,
and the guy behind the counter just being like, nice posers.
They're like, why does this stuff have so much dust on it?
You don't want to scrape your elbows and your knees. You're not a real skater.
Yeah,
you're fake. But nowadays, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I would do that, without question.
Yeah.
Because
you got to protect your brain.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be able to do it in the long run. And I still love skateboarding, although I don't do it as much. But yeah, if I were going to go to the park or something, I'm wearing a helmet. And actually, the last time I went to a really cool skate park, I was decked out in protection.
Yeah. What a poser. Yeah. Hey, have you been to Rattlesnake?
Rattlesnake Park?
Yeah, that's the one over by Mira Loma.
Oh, no. I've seen it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go over there with Reed and Bryce
Only
sometime.
posers go there.
I know. Yeah.
Anyways, intrinsic passion.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that it is absolutely a key ingredient for long-term discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just don't have a passion for something, maybe, don't pursue that.
Yeah.
Now, you have to have that initial passion. It can come and go. You're not always going to feel the passion, but you can rekindle it.
Yeah.
A lot of times passion is a choice.
Yeah.
Like in a marriage, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not always going to feel close to the person you're with, but you chose And at one point you felt a deep passion, so you can rekindle that, and it's your responsibility to do that. But with things like jiu-jitsu, skating, juggling bowling pins on fire, whatever, I think that you have to have a passion for it. Like, you're just not going to stay disciplined in it.
Yeah, it's true. And thinking about jiu-jitsu and martial arts, that is my passion. My passion is martial arts. I think where I put the pressure on myself is in competition and trying to be the best that I can be. And I have this idea that I can and will be, one of the best practitioners on the planet. And so I put a lot of pressure on myself, but I like that in a lot of ways. I like to have the pressure on myself. I like to know what it means to work really hard and try to achieve those big goals and be brave in those moments. But more than anything, I'm very passionate about martial arts, and I'll continue to do martial arts until the day I die. So yeah, it's nice to have that. It's nice to come in here and just know that, like, I'm improving as a martial artist.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, that's it. When they step onto the mats, maybe they're not intentionally improving as a martial artist as they know, or as they're thinking, maybe they're just in here to get in better shape and be around a community. But yeah, you are becoming a better martial artist, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah. I have this image in my mind of you, 90 years old, laying on your deathbed, taking your very last breaths.
I'll be like 109.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
older.
And the doctor's standing over you, talking to your kids. They're like, I'm sorry, kids. I think this is his last day. And right in that moment, you grab him and armbar him.
Yeah.
And you're like, I said I would do martial arts till the day I died.
Kill me. Kill me now.
RNC him right there. He's like, help. Taps. You're like, tap somebody on my last day on earth.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to be, put to sleep or killed while I'm submitting him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's the same day. As long as it didn't happen right at midnight.
The day I die. Okay.
Yeah. If you did it like
Till
he
the
tapped
moment
at 11:59 and then you let him go, and then at 12:01 you died, then you'd be a liar then.
Yeah, that
Can't
would be
do that.
real bad.
That would be so bad.
Doctor comes in. He's like, hey, how you feeling? I grab his wrist. He's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Wrist control. Kill me
Then you
now.
pull out your gun. All right. So did we beat the discipline, passion horse half to death, or is there more?
No, I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think. All right. So next one on the list, number 3, purpose, or more specifically, purpose alignment. Being very motivated with your purpose, and this can be connecting to your why. Your why could be your purpose.
I mean, a lot of people would argue your why, purpose and why are synonymous, right?
Yes.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's why do you do this?
Exactly.
If you can't answer that for yourself, then maybe, I mean, you don't have to stop doing it, but spend some time and find your why.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for a lot of people, their why is their family, their kids, their loved ones.
I think that's a great why.
Their significant other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a whole lot to discuss here because, I mean, it's obviously a very big motivator. I think if you can relate, or you can always fall back to your why in regards to what you're doing / trying to achieve. That's always going to be a huge motivator.
I don't know. I mean, Simon Sinek wrote a whole book about it. So I think he did that really, really famous TED Talk, Find Your Why.
Yeah.
Start with Why, I think it was called. Yeah. They wrote a book called Start with Why. I think it's super important.
It was a big thing for a while. I remember, I feel like there was a why movement.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's your why? What's your why? That was huge for the longest time.
It's mostly guys, because why?
Why?
You're not following me.
Why?
X, Y.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Why Combinator?
That was a dumb biology joke.
Well, you're probably right, though.
Yeah.
You are probably right.
Yeah, it's mostly guys. Guys find their why. The women, they're like, I look for my why. I don't have them. I got 2 X's, though.
Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Not Simone Sinek.
I thought I said cynic.
No, Sinek? No, I was just making a bad joke, too.
Oh.
Simon's a guy. Simone is.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought you were correcting me again.
And this is where everybody tunes out of the podcast.
I know. I keep doing this. No, I'm so old that I just forget what I said a minute ago. Anyway, so I have this idea about a joke about why. And Anyway, but to get back to it, I think that it is, if there's something that you're going to pursue with passion and discipline, if you haven't sat down and written down why you are pursuing it, whether it be a degree at the university, whether it be martial arts, whether it be a vocation of some sort, or just a hobby that you want to really like spend money on and time on that thing, I think that you should sit down and write down your why and really delve deep. Don't just say, oh, because it's fun. You know, like that's a cop out. Really dive into it and explain to yourself why it is that important to you. And one of two things will happen. Either you will really be motivated and it will encourage you to really stay disciplined in that thing. Or you might say, holy crap, why am I even doing this? I don't even care that much about this. And you will discard the things in your life that are just noise, that are just distractions from the things you actually do care about.
Yeah.
So it's a valuable exercise.
And on the flip side, we have reasons why we don't do things, but we want to do these certain things.
Right.
We have ideas that we want to get involved in jiu-jitsu. We want to get involved in more running. Maybe a good practice would be to write down why you don't do that or why you don't commit to that. And those could give you the answers. Because I don't want to, work that hard or something.
It's really tiring.
It would probably be harder to write down why you don't want to do it, because it would make you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. The excuses, like if you actually write down the excuses, the unspoken excuses in your brain that are keeping you from doing the things that you do want to do, you're right. You'll expose the fraudulent excuses for the sham that they are. And you'll be like, I really should be doing this thing.
Yeah.
If there is a passion for it.
It's a good, it's a good takeaway from this podcast, even though we're not at the end, but we should together write down the things that we don't want to do, or maybe the things we put on the back burner a lot of the times, and really try to intentionally think about that. And then write down why we don't do them. Yeah. And then, if they're appropriate, maybe we could share them with each other.
Yeah.
But if you're listening as well, maybe think about the things you've been putting on the back burner for a while. Just write them down as a title, and then beneath why you don't do them.
Yeah.
And if you have a good enough reason, it's probably a good thing that you're not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. You might have great justifications. I don't juggle chainsaws because I don't care very much about it, and I could lose a hand. Plus, chainsaws are expensive. If you drop that thing, you could break it.
Yeah. And
there's so many good reasons not to juggle chainsaws.
And chainsaw insurance is also expensive for some reason.
I don't understand why.
There's like a juggling clause in the contract.
Yeah, like, will you be using chainsaws for juggling? If so, then your insurance premiums go up quite a bit.
Yeah.
The copay,
true.
Too expensive.
I've got a chainsaw insurance representative that I can send people to if you're interested.
Yeah. So if you do find something that, let's say, here's the scenario. There's something you haven't been doing. You write down the reasons you're not doing it, and you realize that you've just been a coward and you're going to start doing it. Put that in the comments.
Nice.
And inspire all the other listeners, Blake and Parker.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys should work harder.
Yeah, work harder, guys. All right, next one. Number 4 on the list. This is one of my favorites, actually. One of the biggest motivators is a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset. And that's just like intrinsic motivation already. I mean, you're always thinking glass half full, optimistic mentality, and you're passionate and excited about developing new skills, developing as a person, always finding, a reason to develop and a reason to get better. And I love a growth mindset. I consider myself a growth mindset individual, and I'm really attracted to conversations about growth mindset and people that are also similar. I consider you a very growth-minded person.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah.
So first of all, if you're interested in the growth mindset, the book Carol Dweck wrote called Mindset is a fantastic book.
Yeah.
Have you read that one, by the way?
No.
That's so good. I mean, I think it was around before she wrote the book, this idea of having a fixed versus a growth mindset, but it's such a good
Yes.
book.
Yeah. The fixed versus growth.
Yeah. So the fixed mindset, for those of you that aren't familiar with the growth versus the fixed mindset, the fixed mindset person says, I'm good at jujitsu or I'm not good at jujitsu. I'm good at math or I'm not good at math. I'm smart or I'm stupid, right? Like you feel like you are fixed and you cannot change.
Yeah.
The growth mindset person says, right now I'm not very good at jujitsu.
Yep.
But if I keep training, I have the potential to become very good at it.
Yes.
I can become smarter.
Yeah.
I can become a better athlete. I can become a better student. I can become a better father, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. And biological research backs up the growth mindset.
Yeah.
Human beings, I think that the most incapable human being is still one of the most fascinating machines on earth.
Yeah.
In the universe, really. The human brain and the human genome has the ability to adapt. You rolled with a guy in Europe, Chunks' buddy, who like is an amputee.
Yeah, we actually weren't able to meet up, but we were talking and definitely plan to.
But talk about a guy with a growth mindset,
Yeah,
right?
for real,
Like
yeah.
it would be really easy to be like, oh, I got amputated limbs, so I can't really do anything.
Exactly. No legs and one arm.
Yeah.
And he still finds ways to improve and grow as an individual.
Right.
I don't think we have any like legit excuses.
Yeah.
Other than actual brain deficiencies. Like
Yeah.
we really can't. But
there's not a lot of people that have that. Like people will say I'm tone deaf. If you talk to Travis, who is a music instructor and regularly beats me up in here, he would say that I'm guessing, I can't put words in his mouth, but most music instructors that I've talked to would say that most people are not actually tone deaf. They're just untrained. Mm-hmm. Very few people don't have the ability to recognize tones.
Yeah.
And to be able to point them out. Train, and you could become very adept at recognizing and like tuning your instrument without a tuner, right?
Yeah.
It just takes time and practice. You just have to train yourself.
Yeah.
And that's true on almost all things. So when people say that guy's tone deaf, I would say, well, he might be right now, but he doesn't have to stay that way.
Yeah. Ruby and I were talking about this a little bit, and just one of the greatest things about humans in general is we have and have always had the ability to change our nature. Mm-hmm. And not to confine ourselves into a box in terms of what we're capable of.
Yes.
And yeah, I also think it's about the story. We talked about this before, but the story that you tell yourself, that's either going to be a fixed position. I'm this way. Mm-hmm. I've always been this way. And it's like, okay, if you keep saying that, yes, you're always going to be this way.
Yeah. You've given up.
Cool. I'm not that way. Or maybe I'm this way now, but I know that I can get better. I know I can get stronger. I know I can think about this deeper. I mean, there's a lot, especially even with myself. I can think about it so much before owning a business and really delving into this journey of entrepreneurship. Just so many things that I never thought I was actually capable of understanding, because I just discounted my intelligence, discounted myself, and thought of myself more as just a guy that could be really good at martial arts because I was more of a physical person.
Right.
And then you get into business and entrepreneurship and a whole new set of problems, and then it's like sink or swim. And then you realize, well, it's not that I'm not good or smart enough for these things. I never just took the step to try and learn them.
Right.
And then once you start learning, you're like, oh wow, okay, I can actually figure this out. And then you just keep figuring out. And I think the more you do that, the more you recognize what you tell yourself you're bad at, and then it's like, okay, we'll just go do it for 10 days.
Yeah.
Go try and figure it out. Like really try and figure it out. Don't get tired after 20 minutes or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Like try and figure it out. You'll figure out how smart you are, how intelligent you are, how strong you are, whatever it is, how much more mental resilience you actually do have.
Man, there's so many things to unpack there. One thing is, like you said, don't just go do it for 20 minutes. It takes, you hear the 10,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's heard of 10,000 hours to master some skill. And that is fairly true if you want to become a true master of something.
Yeah.
But research shows that it takes about 20 hours to be better than like 95% of everybody else.
20
Right?
hours.
20 hours.
Nice.
So
It's only 20 jiu-jitsu classes.
yeah,
guys. Come on.
well, I mean, honestly, you take two guys that are physically about as capable as each other.
Yeah.
And one of them puts 20 classes in a jiu-jitsu and then they fight.
Oh my
Who's
God.
more than likely going to win?
Dude.
He's going to destroy the other guy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not even going to be close. Now, you take a 100-pound girl that puts 20 hours in and goes up against a 220-pound guy. That's not a level playing field.
It's not, but
Eventually,
still, with the right amount of technique and the right drilling in those 20 hours,
yeah. If she knows
could be
she's
breaking
going,
that guy's leg.
yeah, absolutely. If you're just like, hey, all you need to do is this.
Yeah, we're gonna do 20 hours of leg locks,
Yep.
and you're gonna, blow this guy's knee out.
Yep. So, point is, if there's something that you have enough passion for, and you're really interested in it, but you have had a fixed mindset, I'm not good at this, and you've had fear, which goes hand in hand with that fixed mindset, but you really want to give it a try, give it 20 hours. And I guarantee you'll surprise yourself. Actually, you'll be like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this in 20 hours.
Yeah, and that compounding effect is a huge motivator.
Absolutely.
And it's a mindset shift,
Mm-hmm.
because we, whether we believe it or not, we all have fixed, mindsets on a lot of things.
Yeah, that's
Like
the other thing. We're not fixed on some. We're not always fixed or always
Yeah.
growth.
Yes. Yeah. You can be both at the
Yep.
same time.
Yep.
But genuinely leaning into the things that you tell yourself you suck at, or you can't understand, you can't comprehend it because you're not smart enough. Like, just try.
Yeah,
Just
put
try.
20 solid hours into
Yeah.
it, like legitimately 20 hours.
Yeah.
And then you will find that you are far better at it than you thought you could ever be. And then at that point, maybe you're like, okay, at least I know I can do this. And maybe you don't have the passion
Yeah.
for it. You don't have to keep doing
At the
it.
end of the day, it's just a confidence builder too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's cool too, because it builds stories and it helps you understand the world around you and people around you more. And this kind of takes me back to a conversation we were having yesterday, but in a world where technology is moving so fast and things are changing drastically, we talked about who are the ones that get left behind, who are the ones that suffer from all of these major changes happening. And based off, a podcast I was listening to, it's the uneducated.
Yep.
The uneducated are always going to suffer.
Yep.
The most. So, yeah, when I think about that, I am passionate and almost fearful
Yeah.
of not being educated. And I know that I can. I know that I can. I know that if I tell myself I can't, that's just a self-limiting belief.
Absolutely.
And so I want to be educated because I want to thrive in the future. I want to thrive in whatever era is coming.
Yep.
And I think everybody should. I think, just thinking about yourself as an uneducated being like feels horrible.
Yeah.
And so you can, and you should.
You absolutely can. I mean, like I said, even the least capable human being on earth, think about somebody that's just the dumbest person you've ever met. They're still capable of so much more than you could possibly imagine. The human brain, the human physiology is so vastly complex. The human brain is actually the most complicated thing that we are aware of in the universe.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable the number of neuronal connections there are in the human brain.
Yeah.
It's so vastly complex. It's insane. And it is such a growth machine.
It is.
It can do insanely. You watch people that do like breakdancing, for instance.
Yeah.
Or like you go Cirque du Soleil and you watch people do these physical feats that you're like, I did not think that was possible. I did not think a human being could do that.
Yeah.
It is possible. And I think there are upper limits for each person, but I think that just knowing that no matter where you are, you can improve at anything you want to improve at if you'll put the work in.
I couldn't agree more.
And that's motivating because
is.
that's the whole point, right? This is the motivation, discipline talk.
Yes, it is very motivating. And people disregard how intelligent they can be in other aspects. 99% of the time, everybody is good at least one thing, or they're talented at something. I mean, unless you're just completely lazy and have no passion to live, in this world at all, everyone is usually good at something. And
A lot of times they don't even know they're good at it because
exactly.
they're just not even willing to try.
Yeah. But that's intelligence, someone that thinks that they're only good at, something physical, or, like I just skateboarding, for example. Let's take skateboarding. Okay. Maybe you feel like you're only good at skateboarding because you're obsessed with skateboarding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you feel like, oh, I could never figure out, how to budget, how to do taxes, how to do all this stuff. But it's like, if you just apply like even 10% of how passionate you are towards skateboarding, you could learn anything. Like if you're at the point where you're able to do all these amazing tricks on your skateboard, like you can apply that same thing to learning anything. And yeah, it's going to be harder because maybe you're not as passionate about it. It doesn't come as naturally to you.
That's why I think that's such an integral ingredient.
Yeah.
You have to have some passion for it because that's the drive to put in that 20 hours or 30 or 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to have that.
Yeah.
I think also it's important to note when it comes to the growth mindset that, people like, I'm good at physical things, but not intellectual things, or vice versa. It's all the same brain.
Yeah.
There are different regions of the brain, sure, but building neurological connections, building coordination, increasing the myelin sheath around your neurons to get stronger impulses, like that's what coordination is, to build patterns and that sort of thing. It's all the same mechanism. So if you can be good at one thing, you can be good at other things too. 100%. But you might not ever have the passion, and that's okay. But just don't let your fear stop you because you think I can't be good at that, because you can. You can absolutely be good at it.
Don't let your fear steal your funk.
That's it. That's the title of the podcast. Don't let your fear steal your funk.
Yeah. Okay. Should we get in
number 5?
Fifth and final
Yeah,
one?
let's go.
I mean, there's probably more, but these are just the
This
ones.
is a nice discrete list.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
starting
1 through
point.
5. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, 5. One of the biggest motivators for a lot of people is just the social connection. 5 is your social connection. Makes sense. I mean, from a jiu-jitsu standpoint, being social, connected with a group, connected with a tribe, that's really special and a big motivator for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
We think about even social media, people that are motivated to build these online communities, build a following. I mean, ultimately, they're passionate about being socially connected, even if it's not in person. Like they want to gain as much of a following and as much support as they can, on their YouTube channel or whatever it is.
Right.
So I think, this is a huge motivator for people, community and, partnerships and mentorships, all of that.
Yeah. I mean, innately human beings are very, very social.
Yeah.
Even people that are, classically introverted, they still want to be part of a group. They just don't want to interact in the same way as an extrovert does, but they still want to feel like they belong. They still want to be part of a group. And honestly, a lot of people don't think that they want that. And then their health suffers when they're not part of a group. So not only will being part of a social group make you healthier, but it can be very motivating. And I think understanding that mechanism, that there's a big draw to the middle. We all want to fit in. Could be both. It could either be a positive or a negative thing. For instance, you have a kid, your kid's 15 years old and he falls into a bad group of kids, like you when you were 15, like my son starts hanging out with you. You are bad.
Yeah.
So he's going to want to fit in with that group, and he's going to start doing things that maybe violate his principles and he doesn't feel very good about. And it's going to make him a worse person because he's in that group.
Yeah.
Or he falls in with a group of extremely talented, extremely driven, extremely motivated kids that are very positive. I mean, who's going to have a better experience in their life, right? Who's going to shine?
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to, as a sentient human being that has free will, to choose the people that you spend time with, to choose your social groups responsibly, because they will affect you either positively or negatively. And they can be a huge motivator for you in a positive way.
Very good point. Yeah. I think understanding the ethos of the community that you wanting to be a part of, or, striving to be a part of, is important, because you don't want to end up in the wrong community. you don't want to end up with all of these, opposing social energies. It's maybe something that's not ideal for positive growth, positive mental health.
Right.
So yeah, that's important to identify. But I think also it would be beneficial to us to spend time in communities that maybe we don't understand so much or that we judge.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of reasons, that would be helpful for people who, are maybe more judgmental of, certain individuals.
Yeah.
On like a very small scope, we have jujitsu and kickboxing.
Uh-huh.
And this is very like a lighthearted scope.
Yeah.
But kickboxers, they're just like, oh, I don't want to be on the ground. I don't want people sweating on me, whatever. They have these preconceived notions of what jujitsu is. But the cool thing is when they come in for the kickboxing class, they're getting to see the end of the jujitsu class. And they're like, maybe I'm not exactly sure what's going on here.
Right.
Maybe I
right.
have these ideas in my head. And if your ideas are that jujitsu's gay, you're right. But
super gay.
No, but yeah, but they have these ideas in their head, and then one day they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
And then they try it, and 9 times out of 10, they really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what happened with me. I, for years, was like, I don't think I want to do jujitsu. I just don't think I really want to roll around with a bunch of sweaty dudes. It's going to be weird.
I think if it had a different name.
Maybe. Yeah.
The Japanese name is
like fun jitsu or something.
No,
I don't know.
It can't be jitsu. It can't be Japanese.
Okay. What do you think?
I
What would be
don't
a good
know.
name?
I know wrestling is bad too.
Yeah.
Grappling is kind of cool. Tiger arts. Tiger strike.
It's got to be
Redeem
like
your free Tiger Strike class.
I feel like you're on the same line of thinking as Johnny was in Cobra Kai when he named his new studio Eagle Fang. You're like, eagles don't have fangs. Well, this one does. Yeah. It's badass. Anyway,
one day I'll watch that show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that it's your responsibility to choose the groups you want to be a part of responsibly, but at the same time, not be a bigoted a-hole that's like, the jiu-jitsu people are better than the kickboxing people.
Yeah.
That's just ignorance. I mean, that's
annoying.
Yeah. But when you're in a group and you know that it's a group that's like a bad influence on you, they bring out the worst in you. Like maybe you don't have to be mean to that group, and maybe it's good for other people. Maybe for whatever reason, other people get a more positive experience out of it. But for you, it brings the worst out in you. Go find a different group.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem.
I think that there's also an issue with groups where it's like our way or the highway. You know, our way is the only way. I mean, I feel like that's also a sign that's like a warning sign in a lot of ways. And I never want to be that way as an instructor, as a practitioner. I mean, the whole purpose of martial arts is to discover the deeper parts of yourself, to ultimately improve your self as a human being. And I wouldn't want to tell people like all ground is the way. Now, of course, I'm putting my best foot forward as a coach, and I'm like, I will do whatever it takes to get you to the level that you're at. But that doesn't mean I have the answers. Mm-hmm. Maybe I have like the answers that you're looking for, but go explore. Like when you're traveling, check out other academies. Like download a lot of data and information from places, because I do the same thing. I'm not just sitting on the mats, thinking about jiu-jitsu from my perspective only. Like I've watched so many practitioners. I've had so many coaches. I've absorbed so much knowledge from other people.
And that growth continues. Again, not having the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is, I am now a master of jiu-jitsu and there's nothing else to learn. The growth mindset is, I can always get better. I can be a better teacher. I can be a better practitioner. Mm-hmm. And so I think having that growth mindset is going to really serve you well as an owner of an academy.
Yeah. So just to wrap that up, fifth and final one, social connection. Choose your communities wisely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try to choose it with the intention of having a growth mindset and having, you know, a strong why, and, you know, be surrounded by people that are passionate about doing good and getting better as human beings. And that's ultimately the social connections in the community that you want to be a part of.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. I mean, I would be interested so that's 5 things.
Yeah.
I would be interested to hear if people were to add to that list, what things would you add? Like if I were going to just like arbitrarily say, read a lot. I think reading can be incredibly motivating. It can inspire you and educate you. And like, it goes hand in hand with a lot of the stuff you said, but like, what does everybody else have? What other things would you put on the list?
I think that's a great point. Like, knowledge acquisition could be another motivator. Like I want to get smarter. I want to acquire as much knowledge as I can.
Yeah.
Because knowledge is power in so many ways. And yeah, I think that's also a big motivator for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to hear what people have to say. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think this was great. I think if people take those 5 things and they just think about them and try to incorporate them in whatever way they can in their lives, I think they'll be better for it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to write down the things that I don't want to do. And
if it's appropriate, we'll talk about it next time.
We'll talk about it next time, because I'm already thinking of a couple things. But yeah.
That you want to do, but you have convinced yourself that you either shouldn't or can't.
Shouldn't or can't, yeah. Or it's not necessary for my goals.
You've rationalized,
But there's a lot of things outside of martial arts that I really want to do. Some, you know, physical, some more intellectual. And I feel like I can think of excuses why I haven't done that. But maybe I need to actually sit down, write it down, and really tell myself, why am I not doing this?
Yeah.
And then how would I benefit if I did? And just compare and contrast those notes.
Nice. Okay.
Cool. Alrighty.
Cool. Any advice to anybody?
Yeah. Blake Parker, train harder.